Good morning, folks. How are we all doing today? Hey, Jill, Sergey, Arnulfo, David, Arturo, John, Moondog, Richard, Hassan, Debbie, got Carrie, Jeremiah, David. Good morning. Sedona, it's very morning for you. I'm doing well. I think the market is just waiting for the report today. It's low volume, so you'll get odd price action. Right, John? I did. All right. I'm doing all right, David. Definitely not back to 100%, but wouldn't kick you out, Willis. He would be jealous. Probably, Cheryl. I would probably just reinstall. Are you? What platform are you using? Trading View can be a little finicky. If it's tossed, then just reinstall because that's we haven't had any issues with that. Morning, Tammy. Slide deck is moving. Room is pretty light today, just like the market. Very low volume today. On 2 o'clock. Well, 2 o'clock is the number. 2:30 is when Powell talks. That's the real juice. That's when you see the real moves. Typically. Now, if there's a surprise hike, which I'm not saying is at all likely, but if there was, then you'd get a real move at 2 o'clock. It wouldn't wait until 2:30. other than a huge surprise on the number. Usually don't get a move till Powell speaks. Sometimes we don't get very much of a move at all. Last time it was we really didn't go anywhere. Hey, Chris, Rita, Bob, Steven, Ralph, Stacy's here, Chad, Andy, Bono. Mark, I didn't see the original one. Can you resend it? Hmm? The telegrams went out. Make sure I got my email. Yep, I did. Everything went out. Hey, Lewis, Marina. Yes, it is. She's somewhere in the members area. I don't remember specifically where it is at the moment. Definitely. I think it's connected to the Trading View general install video at the very end.
Right. Let me just get YouTube up here and we'll get started. There we go. Here. Just getting situated, folks. I will start in just 1 second.
Thank you, John.
We got Richard, Fred. Hey, Fred. Hey, Richard. Hey, Bill, Devin, James, Alexander, Sherman. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's okay with you. Now let's turn here to it's hot, folks. I know you're from literally all over the world, but it's been I think yesterday and not today. Today not yet at least. But yesterday felt like the hottest day that I've been in the last 7 years that I've been to Florida. It was 104 while I was driving yesterday in the car when I was here in Nakatimat. Did it feel that way to you, or am I mistaken?
Uh, I didn't notice it.
I think it got up to 105 yesterday. It was really hot. Like and remember, I'm from Southern California and I've been to Vegas a gazillion times. I mean, whoo.
Sure, my electricity bill is gonna
It's
make me
and
notice.
here's the thing, it's never like that. Usually it's hot. Like, low 90s. Let me put my screen on. Thank you. Usually it's in the low 90s. It was, I mean, this thing was hot. Hot, 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 hot. So, man, oh man, it was something. But I think there's the humidity makes it feel worse, but when it's that hot, it's just hot. It's kind of like when I went to Vegas and it was 10. It's just hot, humidity. No, I don't even feel the humidity anymore, to be honest with you. Um, I don't even know if there's humidity or not. But plus, I actually like the humidity. I'm naturally an anxious fella, and I'm warm. I have low blood pressure, so the humidity makes me feel more comfortable. Makes me feel warmer and makes me feel more comfortable. I like the humidity. The humidity is my friend. What can I tell you? That's how I'm made. Like I would always get cold in LA in the mornings, because even in the summers it's cold in LA. LA fluctuates 40 degrees a day. But anyways, it doesn't really make any difference. I love it there. I love it here. It's fantastic. Rain, hello. Jill, hello. Vernon, hello. John, HG. I find neither customer support show they do not know. HG says, can you email me? Is that to you, Matt, from
Yeah,
HG?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
I got
okay.
it.
Kurt, Christopher, yeah, HG, whatever Matt will help you out with whatever you need. Shannon, Ruthie, David, Chris. You like the bonus trade, Chris, huh? Yeah, we did a bonus trade, a quickie in the pit. I can't do long trades right now because of what's going to happen, and I'll talk about that. I have a special meeting today. I just want to say hello to everybody. We usually start about 12:05. Hey, Oscar, Christina, Charles, you're welcome. Christian, Marky, can someone help me understand why we went short the SPY when the alpha zone? Are we short right now, Matt? Oh, all right, all right. I've let me ask you, Marky Mark. I've seen you here before many, many times. Do you remember me saying that the trading zone alert trades are not necessarily based on the alpha zone trades? I just want to make sure, folks, have I ever said that before, or is this the first time? I've said that now. At this point, I've said it now. No, no. At this point, I just want to make sure you understand. Hefe says many, many times. Jill says you've said it before. So I have questions here, and actually that's one of my questions I'm going to answer right now. So it's okay, Marky Mark. It's no big deal, but I'm just letting you know that, and I want you to understand why. There's only so much we can program into this. There's only so much we can program into this. I can't program 30 something years of experience into that. Not yet, at least. That's the reason why. It's not because it's right and wrong. That's just how it is. You like the Pan W bonus trade? Yeah, nice, nice. Go ahead and you grab that, Matt. I feel bad. I haven't been giving you a lot of trades in the pit this week. Usually I do one or two a day, and I gave one yesterday. I gave one today. We didn't have one on Monday. It's because of what's going on in the week. You will figure it out, Roger. Oh, okay. Uh, Pro trader level, amazing. Oh, good, 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 good. All right, all right. Everybody here, hello, good morning. Hope everybody's doing. Eagle Beagle, happy to be in the VIP room. You too, Eagle Beagle. You too. I'm glad you're here. Usually you're in the Zoom room, but you're here. You're there. Uh, the SPY short was based on Vold. Everything today was based on the Vold. So, and I'll talk about that. That's exactly right, Richard. That's exactly right. Folks, I cannot put, and I don't want to, you see, I want to explain something to you about this. And this is the most amazing tool ever. But one of the cool things about it is it's structured to do two things. And I've said this before many, many times, and I'll say it again. When you're trading, one of the reasons why you want to trade is because you want to be able to do whatever you want. I know you haven't even thought about it, but one of the things that you want a blue ocean. You just want to do how you want to express your. Think about this. You could buy, you could sell, you could not do anything. You could do whatever you want in the market, right? That's what attracts you to it. And then some schmuck like me comes around and says, "No, you have to do this. No, you have to wait for a setup to occur. You have to wait for this to happen." I'm like a party pooper. But then after you ignore me first 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, take a couple of losers, and then you start paying attention. You're like, wait a minute, maybe he's onto something here. So it's counterintuitive because it's structured, but the structuring part is what makes it work. You're forced into certain scenarios, and trust me, I'm doing you a big favor. Have you ever think about this? Imagine somebody who doesn't know how to dance and you ask them to dance. See, that's a big, big problem. They're going to make an ass out of themselves. If you ask a pro how to dance, they'll say, "Oh, well, how? What kind of a dance is this? Slow dance, fast." See, you start. This is a structure. I need to give you a structure. Believe it or not, little things, subtle things like coefficiency between lines, this matching this, all these little details, they end up keeping you out of trouble. Knowing what side of the fence to hit on, keeping these internals aligned. It's not too much. It's just enough to keep you out of trouble. Okay. Uh, Spy, Moondog, why short SPY at B11? What? I don't even know what you're saying, Moondog. Moondog, can you type what you're saying so we could actually see what you're saying? Because I don't understand what you're saying. All right. Oh, 608. We're getting to the 700 in the morning, Bob. We're getting there. We're getting close. We're getting close. You want what short SPY? Moondog, it's like, you what short SPY? Yes, Matt shorted the SPY. I'm talking to you, Matt. What shorted the SPY? Yes, 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 yes. What is this? Tammy says I've had 11 winners and one loser since I started listening to Roger. Listen, that's better than I can. That's better odds than I can give you. All right, started July 16th. That's great. So good to hear that, Tammy. Um, yeah, make it so everybody could see. Make it so everybody could see. Actually, everybody could see Tammy's. Yeah, go to host and panelists and switch to everyone, and then everybody will be able to see what you're saying. Okay. All right. So let me answer some questions. Now, these are really, really important questions, so I'm going to answer them for you. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm not even sharing my screen. I just realized that. This is what I was talking about, giving you structure right here. This gives you structure. Okay, now let me answer some questions for you, important questions and insight. Okay. Here, let me take a drink. Look at me carrying around this big water bottle like a maniac. Matt, make sure that she sent out emails and everything. I want to make sure the room has a lot of people because we're going to start getting into the nitty gritty right now. Okay.
Yep, it went out.
Thank you, sir. It went out. Okay. So FOMC. Am I expecting a lot of volatility on the FOMC? Are you guys expecting a lot of volatility, FOMC? That's okay, Eduardo. Robert says no. Hefe says no. Rich says no. Glenn says yes. Most people say no. Do you guys want to know what the rates change will not have any impact? That's not even a thing. It's the forward-looking statements. All right. Most people say no. Most people say no. Do you guys want to know what I think? You want me to tell you what I think? Timothy says no. All right. I don't think I agree with all of you. Most of you, like 95% of you, I think they're not going to have a big impact at all. Let me just say this. According to Goldman, I think I read this morning, Goldman is predicting the least not predicting, they're based on the option implied volatility. And Matt, I didn't even tell Matt about this, but they're predicting a very, very little reaction. Very, very little reaction. So I'm not expecting a big reaction. I'm not expecting Powell to change his tune. I'm not expecting. I think Powell's going to stick to the script. Things have been moving along really well. And by the way, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on your Trump side or Powell side, I don't play this game. I don't play politics. But fortunately for Powell, things have been moving his way in terms of the data, the Fed data. They've been moving his way. Unemployment's been low. Thank you, Glenn. GDP coming in at 3%. I wish you'd post that for everybody to see. There's really no reason to cut rates right now. There's no reason to cut rates right now. There's absolutely no reason. So Powell has the numbers behind him. He's not just going to, I mean, do you guys remember everybody when he was being stupid? And when people are stupid, I'm going to call, I don't care who they are. I don't care if you're the president of the United States of America. I don't care. I'm going to call you out on it, okay? If you think that rates are going to go, if everybody thinks rates are going to go down, they're going to go down. Do you remember that nonsense? Woo! I thought he was smoking something strong that day. But nonetheless, he's been really like, the data's been consistent. We don't have all the note. We don't have the tariff. We can't plug it in because we don't know what the rates will be. We need to have all the information. Once we have all the information, then we can tell you. So he's been really straight up. He's been really, really, yes. But what he wants, but we want inflation to go away. You see. So the whole volume is in the forward-looking statement and what he's going to say. And if he sticks to the script, I don't think we're going to really see very much. I don't think we're going to see anything really that. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I'm not expecting it. Now, folks, I could be wrong. And if he changes the topic to, yes, yes, we've realized that economy. I don't even. I mean, he would have to do a full 180. Uh, so anyway, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem that we have right now. That's the problem that we have right now. Now, here's where I do think we're going to see a lot of volatility. I think we're going to see the mega caps because I think one or two of the mega caps may start veering off on the forward-looking statements. Think about this: you got Amazon, you got Meta, you got Amazon, Meta, you got what else you got? You got four of them, all four. Microsoft and something else. Four. Basically, you got four big stocks in the next 48 hours. No. There was four of them. I remember there was four coming out in the next. Apple. Thank you, Abel. This is what I'm saying for getting like the biggest company in the world. Okay. So there's four mega caps coming out with earnings in the next 24, 48 hours. This is not the time to play, folks. Yeah, I said Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, and anyways, four stocks and Meta. You don't want to play around with that. Anything can happen. You have a full, complete binary event where you just don't know what is going to happen. You don't know under what we just don't know. We just don't know. Okay. We honestly don't know. Okay. Now, with that said, so I think the volatility is going to begin more towards end of day today, and more likely than not even today. It's going to, because everybody's expecting, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen after the market closes into tomorrow. Okay, I think that's where the volatility is going to be. But I do believe it'll be more squared off in the tech sector. Okay, so now let's talk about top questions from yesterday. Okay. Remember, we had a class and I want to continue on this flow. All right. Cyrus says, I'm not concerned about Apple. Oh, Cyrus, famous last words. Cyrus, we don't know. It's best to not know. You see, Cyrus, here's why. Let's say Apple doesn't do what you expect it to do. Your mind is going to be not aligned. But if you have no expectations for Apple, you'll be a lot more nimble in taking advantage of whatever Apple does. I'm just telling you, I've learned that from experience. And I'm not knocking you, Cyrus. You and I have been here for a long time. I'm just saying having a strong opinion about something takes away your objectivity in the moment. And I'm not really even talking about Apple. I'm just using this as an example. I couldn't care less about Apple. So when people ask me, do you think this is going to happen? Do you think this is going to happen? My answer is, I don't care about what's going to happen. I care about how I'm going to react to whatever happens. Okay? I don't know, Cyrus. I don't know. I'm not even, honestly, I'm not even talking about Apple. I'm just saying the biases is the problem. The biases is the problem. Your opinion is not your opinion. I'm not talking about you, Cyrus. The opinion of whatever you're thinking is going to happen. I'll give you a really good example of that. Okay, I followed this one guy. This guy, all of a sudden, about 4 months ago, he started getting bearish. Okay, he started getting like not like short term, like okay, things are slowing down, tariffs. He really started getting bearish. And he missed the entire up move in all the stocks for the last 3 months. For nothing. Like, for nothing. Even if I tell you I'm bearish, but I see a stock moving, I'm good. The flexibility, and to get that flexibility, you have to be, I don't know which way the ball will bounce. I don't know which way it's going to go. Always be looking here, looking there. Let's see what happens next. That's how you trade, not this is where I am. I put a fork in the road, and that's going to get you into big trouble. What does Bodine say? True, I'm getting caught on the wrong side of trades lately due to bias. Yeah, bias. Don't have a bias. I have a bias in terms of the overall market, where in a very broad sense, I have a bias. But in the short term, I don't have much of a bias. I don't. I go with the flow. The bias will screw you up. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Whenever somebody has a very strong opinion about something, think about the other side. I mean, again, and I'm just trying to, folks, the things that we bring up here. Look, in this room, we have folks who make 200,000 a month, 300,000 a month, 700,000 a month, tons of, not one or two, several. I'm not even talking about the ones that make less than 100 a month. Okay. Listen to what I am saying. We have folks here who are about to cross that bridge into, we don't work full time. We don't work anymore. Okay. We're way past buying daughters' cars and down payment. We're way beyond that. We're now, can we make $1 million a month? That's where we're at right now. Okay. So please listen to what I'm saying to you. It's important. And and if you have a problem with this, I'll give you a good trick. Omar, my bias is about short positions. I'm working on it. And Richard too. I'm not picking on Richard. I'm saying that shorts always come after longs. You need to get rid of your biases. The best traders who you think know where everything's going to go and everything's going to go, they actually don't care. Isn't that the irony of life? Ken says, I feel very strongly and I'm not biased. Okay. All right. From what I see, Roger's just a numbers kind of guy. Exactly. And I'm not just a numbers kind of guy, Pete. I'm also a very, very exactness kind of guy. Very exactness. That's why I get bent out of shape when people say something and then they kind of distort things and make him look like, I like the facts. Stick to the facts. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful. Just stick to the facts, and I'll always be like that. That's how it is. But when people start churning the color, that's when I go off the handle. Right. All right. So, top questions from yesterday. Do you like the VWAP or the we were taught this is all day trading the indexes, okay? Do you like VWAP or implied volatility for support and resistance areas? Don't you think that's a good question? So the question is, here's AlphaZone Pro actually. Yeah, Cyrus says VWAP versus implied volatility. So the question is, do I like these are the implied volatility levels right here. Okay? And this is the orange is the VWAP. Okay? So I'm going to tell you the answer to that question. Okay? I'm going to give you the answer to my question. The answer is it depends. First of all, it's a great question. Okay? It's a great question. Thank you, David, for coming up with it. We have a lot of Davids, so I'm not going to mention who, but thank you, David, for coming out with it. The answer is it depends. It depends. So if the market is choppy like this, then the levels, the actual levels themselves, these implied levels will be your best friends, okay? If the market is moving directionally, the VWAP will be your best friend. So it depends on if the market is choppy or if the market is moving. How do you know if how do you know if there's a propensity for the market to really move or not? I'm glad you asked. The ADD. Look right now, the ADD, it's at -60. There's virtually every stock is where it closed yesterday. Okay. The market is up 0.20. Volume right now. Excuse me. Let me just. Volume on the day is 18 million contracts. I keep saying contracts. I can't get out of my background. shares, 18 million shares. The average volume is about 70. So, and we're already at lunchtime. So you guys see, which is why you don't have the volatility lines on the right side. Yeah. So 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 it just depends on what I'm looking at. It just depends on if the market's trendy. If the ADD was at 1200, 1400, over 1000, over 1500, then VWAP becomes your best friend. But what you'll find, if the market's choppy, price will just keep going up and down the VWAP and not really do, it'll be crossing the VWAP because price will be at its volume weighted average price by definition at the V. So there's no right answer, you see. It depends on what the market. But Roger, you told me that pullbacks are the best, and you told me and 1,300 people that VWAPs are the best things to trade pullbacks. I did. When this is right, and this is right, and that is right, and this is right. Remember, I also said context is the most important thing. And without context, none of this crap matters. If somebody ever tries to teach you something without giving you the context, run the other way as fast as you can. The market conditions. You know, it's funny. I was just telling Matt, this is a perfect story. I was just telling Matt, I went to the parking lot just now, a few minutes ago. And there was some kid with long hair sitting in a car, cranked up music, doing headbanging in his car. And I said, man, there's some maniac out there. You know, he looks crazy. Everybody around him is like, this guy is insane. Now, if he was in the parking lot for a Metallica concert, everybody would be like, hey, this guy's he's just having a good time. But here in the parking lot of an office building, you know, at 11 o'clock in the morning, it's context. Just like it applies in life, it applies in trading. You got to get away from the whole, if it crosses this line and if it moves and if it moves through here, it means I'm going to buy. You got to get away from that. You got to get away from that. You got to run away from that mentality. And unfortunately, that's what most gurus try to teach you. If you use this perfect line and if it crosses, it doesn't work that way. Life doesn't work that way. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Okay. Right, formal dinner party in a bathing suit. Exactly. If you go to if you go to a bathing suit to a amusement park where everybody's swimming, nobody's going to think you're out of whack. You go to a dinner party, you're going to look whacked. It's the same thing with trading. You can't just trade in a vacuum. So many people start trading that way, and they get into trouble. Fast. Context. Much more important than entries and exits. So again. At certain times, levels are important, and at certain times, VWAPs are important. Okay? Context. You don't play classical piano at a rock concert, and you don't play rock concert at a Tchaikovsky concert. Okay. Why haven't you in the Alpha Zone Pro? How come you never do anything on the QQQ or Russell 2000? Why do you always stay with the SPY? I'll explain why. So, first of all, I don't have a problem with the Russell 2000 and QQQ. If we haven't had a situation where the SPY deviates from the QQQ, when they deviate from each other, okay, when the QQQ starts really moving, or the QQQ really starts moving, we'll shift to the QQQ. Let me give you a hypothetical, and it doesn't happen very often, but hypothetically speaking, if let's say this is a good example. Let's say the SPY is trading at the 200-day moving average and isn't breaking above. And let's say that the Volt is just screaming higher and the NASDAQ is breaking out above the 200-day line and it's holding it. You better bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be trading that NASDAQ long. So if there's a reason to trade, or hypothetically, and boy, I'd love to see this. It would really be nice to see this. Hypothetically speaking, let's say, if let's say Russell starts breaking out and really moving, and it has a lot to catch up on, and we start seeing real momentum on the Russell 2000, I won't hesitate. I'll start using an Alpha Zone Pro Russell. So it's not because I like the SPY better. I do like the SPY better because it's the most liquid one. But truthfully, if truth be told, that's really not the reason. That's really not the reason. The real reason is if one is too close to a key moving average. Another reason. If one is too close to an anchored VWAP, another reason. But in the last year, we haven't really seen any divergence between the SPY and the QQQ for the most part. So yes, the answer is yes, we would do it under the right circumstances. We just haven't had any need for it. So why not just trade the most liquid asset? With that said, a lot of folks have been experimenting and using a 3-minute chart and a 2-minute chart. If you often it does, and often it doesn't. It just depends. It's not the craziest thing you've said, Omar, at all. Not at all. I mean, it happens all the time, which is why I have SMH. And you know what drives the QQQ, Omar? SMH. So it's like it's a tail. Keep in mind, the SPY has 40% of the QQQ. So what you're saying is not crazy at all. And I know a lot of traders who use the QQQ to gain an edge in the SPY.
Yeah,
So
that's literally what I was waiting to say, is that you can use the QQQ and the Dow as almost leading indicators. If the Q is up on the day and the Dow is weaker, but the Q strength is higher or better than the Dow's weakness, then you can lean long, and it'll often telegraph the move on either side.
yeah.
That's why on my screen I have 3 across. I have the QQQ, the SPY, and the Dow in the top row, because you'll see how the balance works, and they'll lead each other, kind of like a dance.
Yeah. Yeah. I have RSP. I don't have the Dow. I have RSP. I don't like Dow because it only has 30 stocks, but I like RSP. It gives me kind of our blue chips is technology, is QQQ, and I have that here. I'll show you right here. Look, QQQ, SMH, RSP, and MAGS, and they all have the multi-time frame oscillator. Excuse me. Okay, getting back to Alpha Zone Pro. So that's the reason why I don't have like a favoritism towards the SPY. I'm just, you know. Do you rely more on market internals, which is this right here, or do you rely more on this, on the Master Blaster of Disaster oscillator? And yes, that is the name, Master Blaster of Disaster. Okay, don't laugh at me. That really is the name. Okay, that's right, Ruthie. That's right. Promised you I was going to call it that, and that's what I called it. All right. Let's see how many we got in here. All right. So what do you guys think? If you had to put money on it? Do you think I use more if I'm using the Alpha Zone Pro? Am I going to rely more on the oscillator, or am I going to rely more on market internals? Let's see what you guys let's see what people say. If I'm day trading, what am I going to rely on more? Richard says both. Brent says internals. Jill says market internals. David says market internals. Randy says both. I think we're getting like 65 market. Yeah, like what Hefe says, about 65 market internals. Yes, but not today, Como Munitar. Both market internals. Glenn, market internals provide broader. You guys are getting it. You guys are getting it. So the answer, I think you guys actually have the right answer. I think you guys have the right answer. So if I had to put a number on it, it would be like 60-40 or 70-30. But this is where I start. This will tell me, okay, so this, and now I'm going to answer the question. Who was it earlier who said, how come you took that trade? It wasn't an Alpha Zone trade. So let me now answer that question. Marky Mark, thank you. So here's the answer to your question. let's say that the Vold is just going down like this. Let's say that this hasn't happened yet. Okay. Let's say the Vold is going down just like this. I don't care how many long signals I'm going to get. I'm only going to go short because the Vold is going straight down. Okay. So what does that mean? That means I'm only going to take short signals. So I would start here to determine which direction I'm going. I would also watch this. You don't have to really watch this. This doesn't change minute by minute. This kind of you could look at this every hour, every 90 minutes unless the market's doing something, because what you'll find is if the market is in a trend mode, it'll pretty much stay in a trend mode for quite some time, or it'll do this. It doesn't do this very often right here. Doesn't do this very often. It'll usually stay here. So it's usually more like this than like this. It'll open up and stay up, or open down and stay down. What this does is tells you how many stocks are up from yesterday's close or down from yesterday's close. And you could see it's virtually unchanged. So we know by looking at this right now that this is a very quiet market we're in right now. And we could see right now that it has a double-sided price action, which means we have no clear directional bias right now. And basically the market, and we have divergence between the Vold and the SPY, which means we're just kind of watching things. There's very randomness right now. And you could see there's no real buying. There was a little buying coming in, and now we're seeing selling pressure coming in. So there's just not much going on. Not much going on. Okay, there's not much going on. There's not much directional bias. Okay, that means we could now trade both sides. But if we were just going down, 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 a little pause, more down, 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 I would say, hey, I'm going to trade the Alpha Zone Pro only to the downside. So you see how one gives me the one tells me if I'm going to be going north, south, west, and the other one tells me how I'm going to get there. You see? But it's kind of like, are we going towards the sun or away from the sun? Oh, okay, we're going towards the sun. Okay, how are we going to get there now? Let's find out when it's going to happen. What do you understand? So we start off here. And by the way, for anybody who has Alpha Zone Pro, I include this so that you guys can understand how it works and you can increase your chance of success by a huge percentage. Why would my left chart show implied volatility? Infinity, I have no idea. Send me an email. But implied volatility is here too. I have implied volatility. Here's the VIX, here's ADD, here's Vold, and here's Tick. I have all of it. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. So again, I wanted to answer these questions. These are good questions, aren't they? Right? Good questions. All right. Well, it's funny. I wrote this question before Marky Mark asked me his. Do you rely more on divergence between the SPY and the Vold, or just taking signals off of Alpha Zone Pro? Okay. All right. See, the question you're asking, I get it so much that I wanted to answer it again. And again, it just depends. So let me show you how I would do this. Clearly, they're diverging right now. But remember what I taught you about the Vold. I taught you that the only time I look at the Vold is when the Vold is in a strong trend. Right now, all the Vold is telling me is it has no idea what it wants to do. But Roger, we have divergence. And I warned you and I showed you and I explained to you in the videos that I don't use the Vold when the Vold is not doing anything. Now, yesterday, the Vold was going down all day. And even when it wasn't going down, it was just going sideways. This thing is going down. Now it's going up. This thing is not trustworthy right now. By the way, yesterday volume was high. Today volume is not. Today we have volume is not good. Everybody's waiting for something. Usually when volume is low, a volume indicator is not going to be very effective. Hello. This is a volume indicator. Volume right now is is a third of the is almost at a quarter of daily volume, and we're halfway done with the day. This is, you have to identify randomness. You have to identify garbage. You have to identify. You have to say to yourself, "Hey, this is what's happening. Because this is what's happening. This I have to rely more on this." Because this is what's happening, I have to rely less on this. The market is not a one-trick pony. But Roger, if there's indefinite amount of parts, I'll never figure it out. Right. The good news is there is a definite period. And we do the same parts every day. There are definite amount of parts. And all you have to do is identify them, just like when you watch a movie, you identify all the key actors and actresses, and then you know when this guy comes into the room, he hates this guy, they're going to get upset at each other, and the mom is going to get pissed off, and the sister's going to run out. You can almost tell down to like this. Not after you watch the show the first time, but after you watch it the 50th time, right? The markets work the same way. So see, this is not real. Now, if this starts moving down, if this breaks down and starts moving down again, what I'm going to say is going to be erased, and I'm going to only start watching the downside. But as of right now, it's a two-sided market. And again, the market's a 0.16. It's really not doing anything. You have to identify, is there high volatility? Is the market and trust me, with time and looking at the right tools, all of this will come. Because the way I force you to do it is I force you to look at only the things that matter. Remember only the 5% that moves the needle, not the 20%, the 5%. All right. So let me give you a good example. This is a real example. And I'm going to answer the question. Do I look more at divergence or do I look more at Alpha Zone Pro? So let me show you how my mind would work. So the market was moving down. Now it's moving random. There's divergence, but it has volume is low. There's no stocks. Literally, we're at 32, which means literally stocks are right where they closed yesterday. Okay, so this is just noise. Okay, all right, this is just noise. If this is noise, I'm not going to pay any attention to it, and I'm going to pay attention to these levels because these levels are not based on noise. Okay? Oh, we have heavy volume. Oh, heavy volume. Oh, okay. We have a vol that's moving directionally. Now, let's say you don't like my answer. Okay, fair enough. You want to play the divergence? Play the divergence. Which way is this moving? It's moving down. Which way was this moving? Up? Only trade to the short side. Okay, I'm gonna meet you halfway. I'm gonna only trade Alpha Zone Pro, but I'm gonna trade it to the short side because there's divergence, and this is still way below the SPY. Remember, this is the SPY. This is. Do you see how I'm thinking? Is this helpful to you guys? Is this helpful to you guys? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to keep talking about stuff that's not helpful to anybody. All right. Okay, good. Now, folks, if you are right now in the YouTube channel, not Zoom, YouTube channel, please make your way to the Zoom room because we're going to be turning off the YouTube channel in just a few minutes. I want to answer some more questions, okay? Okay, here's a good question. Roger, I like what you have to say about trading. Should I focus more on my trading or should I focus more on my mental state? On my mental state. So, what do you guys think? Mental state or trading? Because they're vastly different from each other. Okay. You know, the funny thing is, I asked all of you a year ago if any of you thought you had any mental issues when it came to trading, and everybody said no. Look how much everything has changed in a year. Well, that leaving emotions out of it, Tammy, is working on your mental state. Mental, okay. Mental, decide your trading. If there was no divergence, okay, so somebody asked me a follow-up question. If there was no divergence, it depends which way they were moving. Okay. So the answer is 1000% mental, but it's 60-40. Because here's why. You're, let me explain to you why working on your mental state alone will not do anything, and while working on your trading without your mental state will not do anything either. It has to be a combined effort, and I'm going to explain to you why. Okay? I'm going to explain to you why it has to be a combined effort. You have to, your mind has to assimilate something that it's never done before. You need to learn to think on the fly when it comes to trading. The reason a lot of you, so here are the steps, okay? I'm going to explain to you how the steps work so you understand. First, you learn, okay, I have to buy here, I have to sell there. Then you you start doing those things, but you don't do them continuously in the flow. You start doing them one at a time. You, for example, buy here, sell there. Okay. Oh, that's great. Who did this? This is Bugs. Good for you. Go ahead and grab that, Matt, would you? So let me give you an example. Buy here, sell there. For example, like a simple rule. Okay, like this. Like take AlphaZone Pro. So the rule is buy here, sell here. Look at this. Buy at the low, sell at the high, sell here, take a little profit. The problem is what you will do is this. You will start following them. But it's going to be very, very painful for you to continue the process if you have a few losers. So you'll stop. And then you'll go through another 2 week, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year. It just depends how long it takes for each individual person. You go through this period and then you'll start again and you'll stay okay. And then you'll have 2, 3 losers and you'll stop again. Now, the folks who get to the top fast, they're able to put those losers behind them instantly. Instantly. When I say instantly, without thinking twice, without even recognizing them, without even where it's like, what? Did I just have a loser or a winner? I don't even know. That to get there is the second part of the problem. So a lot of you are like, okay, I need to learn how to ride a bike. Then finally, you learn how to balance yourself on a bike. But you can't get past the balancing yourself on the bike to riding fluidly on the bike. Just when you start getting it, you fall. You start getting it, you fall. That process is something that nobody can teach you except yourself. Okay? That process. Nobody could teach you that process except yourself. The process of I lost, I made, I don't even know anymore. All right, next trade. And then what you realize, you wake up one day and you're like, trading is really boring and it's become really mechanical and I'm just not having any fun. I'm making shitload of money, but I'm not having any fun doing this. Now remember why you started trading. Exciting, making a lot of money, a lot of excitement, doing something new. No rules, and remember where you end up at the end. Ugh. Ugh. See what I just did? Gave you guys a full circle. That's why most people don't continue trading because what they thought they were getting themselves into when they started the process. I'm not yawning. I'm demonstrating the boring part. I'm not bored at all. And I'm not tired at all. The process that I'm talking about right now. Remember why you got into the business. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. Because you could, no rules, you're your own boss. And then you end up 5% that stick with it, end up to where it's really boring, very process oriented, very focused, and a job. I'm not trying to tell you to stop trading. What I'm saying is it's ironic how what we think we're getting ourselves into and what we're really getting ourselves into are completely two different things. Okay? So Um, your mental process, you going there and saying, okay, I'm prepared to lose. Okay, I know what Roger says. I'm prepared. The next 20 trades are going to be losers. I can handle that. No, no. It's actually going through the process. Going through the process. Krishna says, Cyrus, what Roger's teaching will work 100% of the time over time. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, but you'll make money. Yeah, 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 yeah. The good news is you'll make money. You're not going to be having any fun, but you're going to be making money. You're going to be making money. I forgot about that part. You 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 won't have any fun, but you'll be making money, and you won't be stressing out over your trading. I might have given you an example once. Remember what I told you? Imagine you have two kids on a balcony, and they're watching cars go by, and they're seeing if they can guess the color of the car before it goes by, and they're like, okay, that's red, that's black, that's good, and they're right, they're wrong. It doesn't matter. It's just who wins after 100 guesses, right? That's trading. That's what real trading is all about. It's not. That's how I know if I get an email and somebody's asking me about a particular trade, they can't. They're stuck. They're stuck on it. They're fixated. Their mind is not in the market anymore. It's on that trade. There's no easy way to get past that. Now, do you guys understand? You guys understand exactly what I'm explaining to you? So, and the problem is when you're day trading, it's happening all the time. See, when you're swing trading, you take a swing trade, you pause, you cool off, you're okay, you get yourself all prepped up for the next trade. But when you're day trading, you become you're forced to deal with that instantly in the moment. That's real trading. That's real trading. That's that. And the only way you can get past that is by actually doing it in real time, playing the actual game, getting past those losers. Is what I'm describing to you. Does that sound remotely familiar? Getting stuck on your loser, not being able to move forward past it. Is that sound familiar to you? Okay. Yeah, I've been there once or twice. Sure does. Okay. All right. All right. The only way to get past that is small position size. So your heart is in the game and taking trades. And I'm going to do a presentation right now for you. So everybody who's in the Zoom room, I thought this was a pretty cool class. I thought this was a pretty nice class. So a lot of what I've taught you right now, what I've explained, I'm going to go over again right now in a very succinct, clear way. If this is beneficial to you, please pay attention. Alpha Zone Pro is a fantastic way, and I believe today's the last day that they're doing the sale. Alpha Zone Pro is a fantastic way to get you into that rhythm, to get you into that habit, to get you into that zone of being in the now. Here's why. Shannon says, this has been awesome class. Thank you. Tammy says, all of the classes have been great. Good, good. One of my biases works on, Jeanette, it was one of the biases. David says, more fun working on an assembly line in Detroit. Worked on an assembly line. Trading is awesome. Working in my underwear. Well, again, it's great for that. But again, the actual trades, you have to, if you get too excited about your winners, you're going to get too disappointed about your losers. Okay, so don't get too hyped up about your winners. Just stay steady. It's just another trade. It's just another. What's that song? It's just another day. Oingo boingo. It's just another day. Just another trade. Right? I haven't heard that song in ages. Ages. All right, folks. We're gonna do this class. Everybody evict from the YouTube channel here, please. Join us in Zoom room. You are in the right place. And tomorrow I will talk more about day trading, but I think these classes are really important to you. And this tool that I developed is extremely